President Trump is visiting the UK today for his second state visit, greeted with some pomp as he stays at Windsor Castle. That's where we find NBC's Alice Barr, who is traveling with the president. Good morning to you, Alice. So we know the president arrived not too long ago. He certainly seems to be getting the royal treatment from King Charles III.
He is, and we know that that's something that President Trump enjoys. He enjoys the pageantry, the pomp, the circumstance. He's getting it in full doses here. There is a private lunch ongoing right now between the president, the first lady, and the royal family, who all greeted him earlier, the president and first lady, when they landed inside the castle walls. And that's an important term because everything that is going on, all of these ceremonial events, a carriage ride, the military processions, it's all happening within the secure perimeter of Windsor, and that really points to the heightened level of security and the incredible security precautions that are in place here. But as far as, you know, the display that is ongoing, this is the largest military contingent for a visiting foreign leader that the UK has seen in recent memory, and it all points to, I think, the efforts that the royal family is going to roll out the red carpet for the president. Again, has not happened before that there's been a full second state visit for an American president. Typically, you might get a tea with the monarch, but seeing this entire treatment for President Trump points to the relationship and the efforts that are ongoing to keep those ties between the U.S. and the UK strong.
Certainly something to see. So, Alice, this visit also coming during a time of deep divisions on both sides of the Atlantic. So how is that perhaps factoring into all the events happening?
Yeah, I've been speaking to some of the folks who are here who wanted to at least be able to see the helicopters come and land when we saw that and be around, at least in the environment of while the state visit is ongoing. And we've spoken to some of them about there were some major anti-immigrant protests in London over the weekend, more than 100,000 people turning out for that. So there's a lot of that kind of sentiment and division that is ongoing here. In fact, Elon Musk called into that event and talked about having revolutionary government change in the UK. Of course, there's a lot of that kind of discussion ongoing in the U.S. as well. And then there's the way that the Epstein case has kind of reared its head here in the U.K. because the British Prime Minister, UK Prime Minister, in fact, fired the British ambassador to the U.S. after it was revealed that he had stronger ties to Epstein than were previously known. And Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, has faced some criticism for a bit of a delay in that firing and not doing it right up front. Obviously, we know that that scandal has been roiling the U.S. and the Trump administration. And of course, there's also the assassination of Charlie Kirk that I've heard people talking about here as well. And I think that also is part of the reason that we've seen an even higher level of security for this state visit.
That's right. And Alice, you also mentioned Prime Minister Keir Starmer. He's set to meet with President Trump. Do we know what they may talk about?
Yeah, trade is going to be really high on the agenda. President Trump said that the Prime Minister wanted to refine the U.S.-UK trade deal during their visit, and that the President said he was open to that. So that'll be discussed. And then something that we've heard from protesters here speaking out about is the escalating wars in Gaza and in Ukraine. And I think particularly Ukraine is likely to be very top of mind. We know how important that is to leaders here on this side of the pond and to many of our strongest allies. So I anticipate there'll be a lot of discussion about that. Just before taking off, President Trump made another comment indicating that he thought Ukrainian President Zelensky should be the one to step up and reach some kind of deal to end the war that, of course, Russia started. So I think a push for solidarity with Ukraine is also on the docket here.
All right, Alice Barr traveling with the president there at Windsor Castle. Thank you so much. We'll be checking back with you later. Thank you.